Hello and welcome to the Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. It's Tuesday, January 19th, 2021. Ethereum in the midst of an all-time high breakout. Are you excited, guys? Is your Ethereum bags looking good? Have you been packing Ethereum bags for the last 3 years? Well, maybe 2 years. 2 years, 3 years? Either way, did you buy the top a few years ago, and are you finally at your break even? Have you been slowly accumulating over the last few years? Are you an Ethereum believer, and here is your day to shine? Are you something like Vitalik, where you've increased your Ethereum wealth 8x over the last year, let's say?
It'd be weird to look at his account, huh?
Indeed. Well, he is holding quite a few of those. But yeah, let's introduce our two analysts today. We've got Alex with us. Alex, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
And Jason, how about yourself? Feeling better today?
I feel 10 million times better. Another historic day in crypto.
Would you drink some Pedialyte yesterday, or how did you end up recovering?
No, I just drank 80,000 gallons of water and didn't move.
All right, that's what's up.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
I had a good weekend with friends. Okay.
Yeah.
Leave me out of this.
Sounds like
Anyways,
fun.
Talking about pumping bags, let's get into talking about that Ethereum, huh?
For sure. Did we have an Ethereum long in the group? Any trades you guys want to update everybody on? Anything really?
Well, yeah, we did have an Ethereum long on for the group. The system gave us a continuation signal earlier in the week. That was up for the group. I had a couple people ask me yesterday, because I had been so bearish, as you all know, on Ethereum yesterday, if I was going to drop the long. And although I briefly did consider, I ended up not doing so because, you take the signals that you're given. Mm-hmm. And that ended up working out for us in this case. We did hit take profit 1. That was 1380. If you're in that long, you should move your stop to break even. And at this point, we're just gonna wait and see. I kind of expect Ethereum to make new highs from here on out. What can I say? I was wrong. You son of a bitch, I'm in.
All right.
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
Yeah. All right, we made a new all-time high. That's when things make new all-time highs. They have a tendency to, they might pull back a little bit, but they keep making new highs. Yeah, it is known.
And it's super important to not let any of your own personal biases interfere with that, because one of the things that does mess with people when they do this is they have a hard time with being wrong, as it were. And it's not a trader's job to be right. It's a trader's job to take the right signals, So
yeah. Just here to make money. We took a long signal. We make money off of that. Maybe if I had been right, we would have lost money on the long signal, but we still would have been okay because we use risk management and everything. One trade is much like any other trade in that way.
One trade will never make you rich, and you should never treat it like it.
Speaking of all-time highs, our channel's seen decent growth in the last while. We're getting quite a bit more the view count's increasing day by day, and we're currently around 10.4k subscribers. So we did kind of get sandbagged a little bit in the last year with all the YouTube shadow banning and all that, but we seem to be picking up steam again, and yeah, things are looking up. So yeah, shout outs to everybody in the audience, all the loyal followers and all the new visitors to the channel. Mm-hmm. You guys are making this possible.
Jack's in a good mood today. I can hear it. Hey.
He has a slight inflection in his voice.
I haven't even had my coffee yet, but maybe it's my Ethereum bags. I am holding a lot of Ethereum, and
he's market drunk. He's happy.
Indeed. Now let's keep it going, right? Let's keep that.
Jack's like, you keep my bags out of this.
But yeah.
Do you have enough for? I don't want to ask how many you have, but are you aiming to be able to stake Ethereum 2.0 if/when it's time?
Self custody, self node, whatever the term is. For sure, I think sooner or later I'll probably get around to doing that. I think this Still a bit of time to go before I probably cross that threshold, but yeah, certainly something I want to do. I like kind of doing the DIY, more hobbyist stuff, so that's kind of what running your own Ethereum node in the new Ethereum 2.0 ecosystem would be like. I think it'd be pretty cool.
That's a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I ran a lot of master nodes during the bear market. I experimented with some master node coins. I only ever lost money on these things, but
this time it'll be different.
but having done that, I can say that it's actually really difficult to host your own node. And remember that you need constant uptime on your Ethereum nodes, or else, because if you're not connected to the internet, you're not validating, and that negatively affects the amount of Ethereum that you're getting, the inflation. So that there's overhead fees and stuff like that. And well, at that point, maybe it's better to just make your profits from, buying and selling Ethereum.
Exactly. It's you probably have to read the fine print on the contract, the smart contract you sign when you undertake that the responsibility of running a node in the future 2.0 ecosystem. But I guess I'm sure that's something. I'm the kind of guy that will look after all the variables to try to make sure I never let anybody down. All right. With that said, let's take a quick look.
Kind of guy who wait forever for his Crypto.com card to arrive.
Yeah, I have been using that like crazy. I paid the cat's vet bill with that yesterday. It works like a charm, guys. It's so good, collecting 3% cash back on every purchase.
What do you get paid in?
You get paid in zero.
You get paid in zero. All right.
Which you can immediately cash out using their app back into USD. Working like a charm so far. I'm loving it. And yeah, swiping the card everywhere, collecting the cashback rewards.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you very much.
Here's something that I like about it too. That's not something that people talk about it. It's the people who get so excited about, like Jack does. You can clearly tell, like, he's waited for it for a long time. He's flipping it out wherever he's at. It's just good for that. Getting people to see the interest, like people like him are going to get other people to be like, well, what do you got there, So I think it's good for the space overall.
All right, somebody's got to mute their player.
Oh, that's me. I'm sorry about that.
I was going to say that was very confusing.
Let's take a quick look at bubbles, everybody. Let's see what the biggest movers and shakers in the alt space are this afternoon. I see ENJ leading the alt charge. I mean, it's coming to a point now where Ethereum is almost not an alt. In fact, I called Ethereum an alt the other day. I can't remember where, maybe Telegram or somewhere. And somebody's like, whoa, Ethereum's an alt now? Since when? And
Ethereum's the original alt.
It's the original alt.
I know, but it goes to show you how much things have changed and matured, and now the title of Shitcoin is only bestowed on I don't know, maybe everything below the top 10 on the market cap. Some of these projects are really coming into their own. So
the crypto space in itself is kind of coming into its own here.
I mean, the original phrase is, if it's not
Bitcoin,
it's a shitcoin. Everything else is a shitcoin. It was originally, what the shitcoin was, and obviously, if you look at Bitcoin dominance, which is still roughly, above 60, I think it's above 60% still. To be fair, it's kind of held true over all these years. But Ethereum's really has definitely really given Bitcoin a run for its money over the past few.
Indeed. I see
it. Look at Ethereum dominance today.
Yeah, we'll definitely will.
Normally we look at Bitcoin dominance. Let's look at Ethereum dominance today.
We will, indeed. Let's quickly review what we have on Crypto Bubbles. Shoutouts to anybody holding the following. These are big gainers of the day. ENJ, that's right, Engine Coin, up 43%.
We pulled 23% out of it.
So there you go. Well done. See, this is what we do on the back end of CC, and we're not even flagrant about this. We don't come onto the show every day and kind of list off all the home runs our analysts hit in the premium, but
we list off some of them.
We do.
And you got to, because otherwise people are thinking we're talking at our ass.
But we hardly, you know, headline or lead with them. We're very humble around here.
The important thing here is to stay humble. Because
Indeed.
it's one trade at a time, man. One trade will never make you rich. It's the conglomerate.
Exactly. We're not looking to for just Hail Marys here, guys. We just constantly chip away consistent gains. We've got a very professional approach here. So it's nice to hear that we were on the engine train.
Actually, to be honest with you, engine we hit twice, because my 13 EMA system gave us a beautiful entry. I think we pulled like 20% out of it on the first swing, and then I think it was 4 days later it gave us another long entry.
Wow!
And that was this last swing. So we rode ENJ perfectly.
Double dipped on the ENJ gains. Very nice, very nicely played, guys.
And then you dipped again.
You double dip it.
LRC loop ring, which we were talking about on the stream yesterday, up 23% today. We got Nexo up 15%. C Ampleforth is up another 10%. H bar up 11%. Shoutouts to whoever was shilling H bar in our Twitter comments all the time. And Luna up about 18%. So, congrats. Congrats.
I mean, what the hell are half of these things, right? But a lot of these I at least recognize. But
Luna's Terra coin. Yeah, not too familiar with it. I'm sure some of these will be pump and dumpers, but yeah, shout out to anybody holding these. Don't forget to take gains. And among the losers, I see GRT's down 11%. Rest in peace, anybody 10xing GRT. And Kasama down about 9%. Otherwise, mostly in the green today. Let's look over to the live chat and shout everybody out before we continue with the next segment. I see one comment here. JG in the live chat says, guys, help. Does the CRO card need crypto on there to get it sucked off the balance, or is it actually a credit card?
It's not a real credit card.
Yep. It's not a real credit card. It's a prepaid type of Visa card. So yes, you need to preload it with either fiat or you need to send crypto to it and then sell the crypto into fiat, and then that gets loaded onto the card. So yes, it's a prepaid card, which is fine by me. I throw some money at it every other week, and you know, do all the usual household spending and all that with it. So
it's like, as Hyatt said, it's kind of like a debit card. I mean, you know, my bank account isn't like a credit card account, but you know, an ATM card / debit card is still pretty convenient. And in that way, MCO card is like that.
Fingers crossed. Okay, I think we're back. I think we're restored at the moment.
Okay.
Fingers crossed this resumes.
YouTube.
All right, we're back. All right, fingers crossed this stays up. Sorry for the.
And it's back up again.
It's up.
It's up. Yeah. It's down. Oh dear.
It's like the market, baby. It's going up and down.
Yeah, I'm a little unhappy about this. I'm gonna have to call my ISP at this point. God damn it! This is what happens when you move out of the city into suburbia. You get shafted, and you get the crappy internet or something out here. All right. Let's cross our fingers. Hopefully remain online. I'm gonna quickly shout out everybody in the live audience and hope there's. Oh boy. Well, hopefully.
Hey, welcome back, Jack.
Well, thank you so much. But I know that did again. All right, looks like we're back. Fingers crossed we remain back. I appreciate all the support and helpful comments in the live chat. It's really not a bitrate thing. I've already turned down the bitrate since this issue started happening, and still seem to be having issues. I really think there's something wrong with either, you know, I don't know. It's time for the ISP technicians to come out here and check out for, because I'm now on. I have a new modem, new router, and it seems to be happening again. It's weird. We had a few days where it was going great.
It was beautiful.
And now seems to be acting up again. I really don't know what to make of it. These are my favorite problems to troubleshoot, the really weird intermittent ones. All right, fingers crossed.
I think you're being sarcastic. He might not like those problems.
No, I hate those problems. All right. Well, I'm extremely sorry to everybody. I know it's frustrating to be disconnected like this all the time. Wi-Fi router comp. No, guys, trust me. I've done extensive troubleshooting on my end. I'm hardwired into the modem. I've done this on Wi-Fi. I've done it all. The modem just seems to, I don't know, something happens. The uplink goes down. I have full downlink, so I see everybody's comments. I can hear the other analysts coming through. All my download comes through, but my upload just drops to 0. I'm going to let, like I said, the ISP technicians figure it out. Looks like we're good, though, because I've been talking for about a minute without interruption.
Yay!
Let's pray to the gods,
Don't
the internet gods, to keep it up. All right, I'm going to try shouting out the audience one more time. Thank you to everybody standing by. Here we go. NCAP Futures, S. Hyatt was in here. Daniel's in here, Ron Legato, Grant Parsons, Tyler Dukacek, Crypto Bull, of course. We've got, who else? Scroll Replug in here, Vidouche is in here, Dark Rico, David Windle, Jezza Coin as always, Jonah Love the Show, GBU Professor Wally. Man, this is just like a full roster of all the regulars. JG is in here.
Thank you for sticking through the router stuff.
Yes, thank you guys so much. That would probably drive me crazy as an audience member. But yes, thank you so much for your patience. Crypto Caveman is in here. Adam Cohen in here. Mr. Charles. Fox Finn is in here. Super Relax. And finally, let's see here. Josh Batchelor. And that's it. Yes2 Crypto's in here. Shoutouts to Yes2 Crypto. We've got Max in here. And that's about it. Conscious Criminal in here. Cavano Trades. Man, it's like pretty soon we're going to have so many people in the audience. I'm not going to be able to shout them all out.
I was going to say, at some point, you're going to have to stop naming everyone.
I will. But in the meantime, since these people are the OG VIP members, the first 50 or so or 100 regular viewers, these guys do deserve their own little bit of credit. Thank you so much for making the show what it is, guys. Loot Patient, Cheeseburglar, and F66. So awesome.
The Cheeseburglar.
Cheeseburglar. All right. If you're wondering who pulled your cheeseburger rugs from under you, it's probably the Cheeseburglar. Yep. All right. That's enough messing around, guys. Let's take a quick look.
Taste in the Hamburglar. You know, he's got a little bit more expensive taste. He goes for the extra slice of cheese. It's like 29 cents.
Well, here's the thing that someone doesn't talk about is the original Hamburglar just was lactose intolerant, so he just didn't have cheese on it.
Oh, makes sense.
Yep.
Okay.
All right,
That's exactly what I just made up.
A little bit of McDonald's trivia there for you this afternoon, everybody. In the meantime, I'm going to quickly review the 3 news stories. I'm sure everybody wants to see the charts, so we're going to get into the charts in about a minute. I'm just going to quickly review what we have in the news today. Of course, the big leading news story today, Ethereum celebrates new all-time highs after 3 years. All right, so it has been 3 years. Ethereum reached new all-time highs on January 19th, today. Ethereum's likely in wave 5 of a bullish impulse, whatever that means. Ethereum Bitcoin's approaching the not 0.4 resistance area, Bitcoin Ethereum. So yeah, it's another historic day. I'm sure we all woke up to this. I'm sure many people watching the stream right now are curious to look at the Ethereum chart and see what comes next. Where will the breakout take us? What else is in the story today? Grayscale now owns 3% of all Bitcoin in circulation. That's huge. That's almost like Satoshi, or pretty much greater than Satoshi's wallet numbers at this point. So just another note in the
Satoshi has well over 1 million, and if there's let's say there's 16 million in circulation, 10% of that would be 1.6 million. So 3% would be roughly
shit, are we down?
500,000. So
yeah, we just went down. No, we're back up. Back up. It was a slight hiccup. It was a slight hiccup. Fingers crossed. Yeah, maybe not quite Satoshi levels, but the institutions are piling in, and Grayscale apparently leading the charge in accumulating as much of this stuff as they can. So apparently they added 60,000 Bitcoin to their Grayscale fund in the last month alone. So did they end up dumping all that XRP and flipping over to more Bitcoin? Might have. But still, seems like their accumulation remains on course. And finally, a little reminder here that not all hackers strike through the online internet portal. This one is talking about thieves grab $451,000 in cash from a Hong Kong crypto trader. So just a little bit of, if anybody thought that the USDT Tether was a scam and that's supported by nothing, no, honestly, people do pick up in the Far East. They get their gateway into crypto by buying Tether, sometimes in OTC in-person deals like this. So a female cryptocurrency trader, aka an OTC Tether type of gateway, was lured into an office and then threatened with a weapon, according to a report. So Hong Kong police are searching for robbers who lured this woman into an office and robbed her of about $450,000 in cash. So she shows up to do a cash for USDT deal.
Oh, got ya.
Right. So somebody shows up and they're like, here's the briefcase full of money. She transfers over to USDT. And then as she's leaving, people from another room bust in carrying a knife and a rod, and they grab the briefcase of money and the phone before locking her in the office. So apparently then with her phone unlocked, they get on the phone, and I guess she had more USDT balance available or something, so I guess they cleaned out whatever she had left as well. So it kind of goes to show you guys, you got to be worried about, well, maybe not necessarily, because obviously Bitcoin being crypto being pseudo anonymous, you're probably not making any in-person deals, but
yeah, well, in China it might be a little bit different story.
Might be different.
To avoid different people, and yeah, you're gonna have people who are taking advantage of that all the time. So yeah, it would suck to have to do that kind of transaction, especially with that much money on you.
If you're a broker, if you're like a local dealer, people come to you to get the deals done.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the risks you're at, and also just remember, like right now, you might be a nobody in the crypto game. You might have half a Bitcoin to your name. Doesn't seem like a lot, but if you're going to spend the next few years telling all your friends and family, oh, I got the Bitcoin, I'm a Bitcoin millionaire now. Right now, doesn't seem like a big deal. Maybe in the future, you're going to be at risk, right? So you're going to be the guy in town. When Bitcoin hits $1 million, everybody's like, oh yeah, homie around the corner. He was always running his mouth about having all the Bitcoin. So just a little reminder, everybody. I know you're probably happy about making mad gains and all that, and you're really thrilled to be into crypto, but I really do need to remind you, keep it private, keep it on the down low. Okay, if you're going to be an advocate of Bitcoin, don't tell people about your holdings.
You wouldn't go around talking about what your bank account balance and stuff.
Yeah, or what you keep in your home safe kind of deal, right? So just a reminder, everybody, there's thieves and other security risks come in a variety of ways, not just digital incursions, all right? All right, so that about covers my news front. Again, sorry about the interruptions a little earlier. Looks like we're running smooth now. I'm going to switch over to
them charts.
The other scene, and let's do it. Here we go. Switching over now. I've got, let me see here. Looks like the stream, Alex's window's not up right now. Let me quickly fix that. And here we go. All right, Alex, I've got you on screen. And for the rest of the audience, I'm going to start collecting any requests, any questions, and queuing them up. So stand by, everybody, for that. But in the meantime, let's get into the majors. Let's see what Alex has to say.
Okay, let's start the day off with Ethereum. That's what's put in the biggest movement so far. Something really impressive. So we broke up from the consolidation triangle that we were in yesterday, and then we just kept breaking up. So what can I say? I was pretty wrong yesterday. I really wanted to see us clear all this liquidity that we have below us, but instead we made a new all-time high, and for that reason, it's time to turn bullish on Ethereum. So I am definitely looking to increase my spot holdings of Ethereum here, as long as we remain above the $1,300 level. If somehow, in the next couple days we end up closing back below this level, then I'd be like, okay, well, it's just a fake out, and I'll go back to my bearish thesis. But for right now, everything is telling us to go ahead here. There's nothing bearish here on the daily. We're starting to get more momentum confirmed here. Like I said, we're in that continuation long. We picked up right over here. That's going really well. And generally speaking, as far as assets in general, anytime an asset begins making new all-time highs, it has a tendency to really trend strongly into that bullish direction. And you know what? Same for all-time lows. If something makes a new all-time low, it's probably going to keep making new lows. Its price is probably going to keep going down.
We brought that up quite a few times because like when we're talking about, especially in bearish situations, you hear people say it all the time, never buy the first dip, because there's probably going to be another dip that's even lower. And it's the same premise for all-time highs. I mean, you get an all-time high, you might get a slight pullback, but you're likely to get another all-time high.
Yeah. And, you know, statistically, on any given day, price is likely to continue to do what it has been doing rather than reverse and do something different. And okay, you know, Ethereum is telling us that it's bullish. I believe you, Ethereum. I believe you. I'm listening. And for that reason, I'm definitely looking to be in Ethereum over Bitcoin here. Let's look at our Ethereum Bitcoin chart. As you can see on the weekly, just very strong uptrend right here ever since the downtrend, which was a rather long one. It's a nice 6-month downtrend, but we broke it. And so far, gosh, this is just 1 month right here. So so far, so good as far as us following this arrow that I have here on the chart. Let's look at Bitcoin proper.
Bitcoin proper.
Yeah. It's just been more sideways, a lot more sideways actually since yesterday. At least earlier in the week, the sideways had some decent volatility. But now we're trading in like a 2% range right now, which for people who've probably gotten really addicted to volatility must be blazingly slow. Yeah, awful.
And probably flip-flopping on their positions.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going like, oh, things are bullish here. Oh, no, bearish. Oh, bullish, bearish, you know. As I've been saying, for now, the game is in alts. There's no use taking a position in Bitcoin right now, but for what it's worth, Bitcoin kind of looks bearish in this spot, but more than anything, it just looks like it's not doing much at all. So for right now, the game is to just stay out of Bitcoin and stay in alts. And then if that changes, if Bitcoin makes a new all-time high and Bitcoin dominance changes directions, well then, you know, the situation has changed and maybe it'll be time to switch our alts back into Bitcoin and, you know, alt season over. But, you know, that's not what's happening right now. Here's, we're finally getting what appears to be a rather strong downtrend here on Bitcoin dominance. We finally have something that we can draw out. On the weekly, we don't have super strong momentum here, but it you know, strong enough. I wouldn't call it trading sideways.
Well, I mean, that's kind of going to be in the future. If price keeps appreciating like that, sideways is going to be a much larger range than it has ever been in the past. And I think we're experiencing that now.
Yeah. Well, the rubber is going to meet the road here soon on our weekly uptrend for Bitcoin dominance. If we saw Bitcoin break its all-time high, so if we saw it break its weekly all-time high, which it could here, and Bitcoin dominance began to reverse, then that would be a sign. It's like, okay, this was actually just like a brief alt season. For those of you who are new, sometimes that happens. Alt seasons aren't always several months long. Sometimes they are a couple weeks of a blip, and then Bitcoin just keeps doing whatever Bitcoin does, and you got to get back into Bitcoin. So we're going to keep our eyes on that. But for right now, all signs are pointing to alts being the better option. Let's take a look at Uniswap coins here. Just keep going. That resistance I was worried about last week, barely resistance at all. We pulled back the once. Asian coins still kind of languishing. They have just broken above their previous swing high here earlier this week. So we're keeping our eyes on it. But stuff like TRX, VET, and Neo, Qdom, those have been lagging, but they're starting to catch up. I know, as we talked about Neo yesterday, and I saw VET was doing something interesting. We ended up putting on a VET long yesterday for the group. I haven't looked at it this morning though, so we'll see how it's going. DeFi coins really look like they're going to get a pullback here at the end of today. So if we don't close today up, then we will be getting a sell signal here on our oscillator and a bullish divergence, which is telling us that the momentum in price has started to weaken.
You mean bearish?
So our oscillator is putting in a lower high while price is putting in a higher high. Like, see that, folks? So
you did say bullish though.
Excuse me, bearish divergence. Thank you for correcting me. Yeah, a bearish divergence here. So as you see, these the highs here are not matching up. So that's telling us it's probably going to be a pullback on DeFi coins, which would be fine and normal because DeFi coins have had an amazing few weeks, as you all know. So
and look how overextended you are of the baseline. It would be absolutely normal to expect some kind of pullback here.
Yeah. Well, we don't really have a weekly baseline, but you can see like the baseline would probably be.
Look at just look at the daily. It's even overextended there.
You're right. Yeah, we can put on the daily. Where is my baseline? Oh, here it is. Okay. All right, Perp, still in what I would consider an ascending wedge here, crawling underneath the 12-hour baseline here. Not interested in taking privacy coins long. They look like they're due for a pullback. We'll look at ZEC and XMR probably a little later. I imagine. I remember talking about XMR yesterday, how it needs to come down. We'll see what ZEC's doing. Shitcoin's also kind of peaking here on lower time frames. I hesitate to take too much stock in this ascending wedge while we're making a new high on this.
Mm-hmm.
But if this could end up pulling back with the other alts, because some of the other alt pairs we were looking at looked like they wanted to pull back. Remember DeFi, Perp, remember Perps. So we'll keep our eyes on that. Same exact story here on mid perp. Barely looks different from shit perp here. So, and alt perp, I am keeping my eyes on this trend.
Quite a
currently
few
looks like, currently looks like it might be breaking, but not yet. And we would be looking for a similar movement here with a pullback towards our trend, or maybe just a pullback towards our baseline, but one way or another, some kind of pullback here. Things have been very bullish on, things have been more bullish on altcoins than they have been. Okay, so we're definitely going to want to take a look at Uniswap coins today, guys. It seems like Uniswap coins are having the best day out of all the alt baskets. And then we'll probably follow it up with some low caps and take a look at what DeFis are pulling back. So I'm sure some of you will want to know if you're in a DeFi pair that is pulling back so that you can take profits or some such. So tell you what, why don't we... That's kind of a relatively broad look at crypto right now. Do you want to pull back and... You know what? Let me finish up with the major markets because I know once we get into chart requests, people are going to. Like, oh, we're gonna.
Yep. And with what's coming up tomorrow with the transition of power.
All right. Yep. Sorry, don't want to cut you off. I just want to make sure we delicately speak about this. YouTube is in full censorship mode regarding any kind of commentary on the topic of tomorrow's events.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm just more saying in the traditional sense of the markets, it'd be nice to look at these the day before.
Indeed.
Okay, we will not discuss the...
that thing.
We can say inauguration.
I think we can, but let's just avoid going too far into it. I do know that there's a serious censorship wave afoot on YouTube. I don't want to get in trouble for talking about this. We've been dealing with a lot of shadow banning and all that on the channel for the last few months. Just trying to stay in YouTube's good graces. I try not to... trip any of their systems.
Poke the bear too hard.
But I've got a few questions lined up that relate to the majors. So for instance,
tell tell you what, let's talk about it since we're on the topic of the majors. That's a good idea.
Yeah. So I got one here from Josh Batchelor. I don't recognize the name. Must be one of the new guys to the channel. So I just wanted to kind of highlight this, even if you probably don't want to really entertain this question, Alex. But let's check it out. He says, "Are you guys selling ETH right now to take some profits, or are you holding longer?" And then he asked, "Do you think ETH topped for the day?" So he's.
No. I think I answered it underneath that. So I do think ETH might have topped out for like the next couple hours or so. I had some buy orders set in the 1370s actually for some spot, just kind of like a retest of the previous high area. You know, I don't know for sure here, but you know, as I said earlier, something like 90% of the time, buying a new all-time high is a good idea. And so all I can do is say that Ethereum here has shown us that it is bullish. It is pulling in bullish movements against Bitcoin. It's, you know, it's pulling out ahead of the other alts. It made a new all-time high. You know, it's signaling on our daily oscillators, and the weekly is at the end of this week. If it stays bullish, it'll be turned back over. So there's really nothing more that you could ask for right now. It's not a guarantee, but it's an edge on the market. You know, maybe on any given day you don't know what's going to happen, but you can have a better than average idea of what's going to happen. Most likely, Ethereum's going to keep making new highs here.
Yep. You might get some wick action to fill some retracements, but I think you're going to keep pressing to the upside.
Yeah, I could make a bearish argument here about a distribution area, and this is an upthrust above distribution. But, you know, that's just kind of crazy to make that argument when we make a new all-time high. You just don't see that often.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it could be a fake out, but more than likely it's the real deal. So, I'm just going to play the odds, which is what we do as traders, and I'm going to go long here. So if like I said, if we ended up back below, you know, basically this resistance level, it's the same level on the daily,
which would put you below the baseline.
Yeah, it put us back below, you know, the 12-hour baseline here. You know, we never did end up below the daily baseline, which is how we were able to take that continuation long. But essentially, if we ended up back below here, then fine. I was right after all the other day, and we were bearish. Although, you know, really, timing is everything in the market, so it doesn't really count if I was right a few days later, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, you know, fine. You know, maybe it ends up being bearish after all. But all we can do is play the odds on these things, guys. And for right now, Ethereum's saying, "Hey, I'm bullish.
I'm strong."
Yeah. I hear you, Ethereum. I hear you, and I hear what you're saying.
Hopefully that covers.
Yeah.
Hopefully that covers his question regarding taking profits on ETH. Yeah, it looks bullish. Looks like we're going to go up. But listen, never hesitate to take profits. If you're way up on your Ethereum gains and you're a little uncomfortable, you know, don't feel bad for taking profit right here. Buy a pullback if that's what we get. But overall, looking pretty bullish.
I just got your spot filled there, Alex.
Yeah, I think you're right.
All right. Okay, how do you want to continue from here?
This was a fake out. Like, we got you, Alex. Dump it.
There's just one guy watching the stream. He's like, screw that guy. It just dumps it on you. It's Vitalik.
It's Bogged enough.
All right, let's see here. Crypto Bull in the live chat says ETH pulling back right now for a slingshot in my opinion, and Josh Batchelor follows up saying I've got USD to put in that's sitting in Binance. Any good grabs right now from profits I took? Yeah, stay tuned, and I'm sure we're going to explore a few potential juicy setups in the works.
To be honest with you, man, I don't take very many positions that aren't at daily close unless it's like a 4-hour position. So any kind of entry that I'm going to be looking at is likely going to be in another 5 hours. So
all right, I've got we haven't looked at the Dixie yet. Would you want to look at the Dixie next?
Let's do that. I think that will dovetail nicely with our look at the majors.
I think so too. Agency requesting the Dixie.
So while Bitcoin did not have a strong day, the Dixie did not either. And I think that sort of gave Ethereum the room it needed to run, because Ethereum also trades mostly against the dollar these days. Its other heavy trading pair is Bitcoin, of course. So let's take a look at what the majors did. If the Dixie is down, then we should expect the majors maybe had a decent day or a good day. I am not sure. Interesting. So we gapped up this morning and then traded back down here on the Dow Jones. Still relatively bullishly postured here. I think, the Dow could go for it. Very interesting. So right now we are holding above that resistance line that we were looking at. As long as we remain above that and the Dow can continue to make new highs, then I'm gonna have to eat my bearishness. Maybe we will pump into the unnameable event that will happen this upcoming Thursday.
That who shall not be named.
Yes, that event which shall not be named. Ooh, strong day on the Nasdaq. Also very interesting. Still below the daily baseline. An argument could be made that this is still just more trading sideways, but hey, if we can make a new all-time high here on Nasdaq, then I'd be sold. Okay, I was wrong. But we're still below that resistance line that we've been looking at, guys, right here, and we're below the support line.
Still nothing to do.
So, yeah, so this can still just all be a retest of the highs right here before we dump. I'm not sold yet on the Nasdaq. SPY. In the no trade zone here, kind of inside our channel envelope around the moving average, our baseline. Just like the Dow, as long as we're above this resistance level, I think that's relatively bullish. At the end of the week, this could all just be one wick. We do have this sell signal right here, but on the daily time frame, we just don't have a short yet that we can take. And we still have it. So we're keeping our eyes on it, but for right now, I would consider it more sideways, especially here on the weekly. We just haven't moved from this area in the last few weeks. So I think our best hope here for crypto is that the Dixie also essentially continues to trade sideways here on higher time frames. Here on the weekly, we haven't moved all that much. Our bottom was down here. We're up a little one week, and the next week we're still down just a little bit. We've got heavy resistance above us right here. If we can just continue to trade sideways, then crypto will be fine. If we can move down on the Dixie, that's even better. Crypto will just explode, people. But yeah, this is still very troubling. This break of trend right here, getting back above the baseline here, that leads me to believe most likely we're not going down. Our best hope is sideways. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at chart request, Jack.
Let's do it. Good job on the Dixie and traditional markets. Excellent observations. Yeah, I do think if the Dixie's been on a multi-year downtrend. Has it been a few years? It's been a long-term downtrend for the Dixie.
And I'll tell you what. Let's look at the Dixie from a long-term perspective. Let's get away from even the weekly and the daily. Let's look at let's see if we can get some. Let's turn off the baseline. All right, guys, this is us on the Dixie.
All right, so take a look right around the 2017 mark. You see where the downtrend ended and it kind of V-bottomed right there. Right there. Yeah, so that is coincidentally, that whole streak there was where Bitcoin pumped to 20K. And right when the Dixie V-bottomed out of that, is where it was where Bitcoin's collapse down to the 3K lows occurred. And so we're kind of seeing something similar, right? We see a downtrend here taking us to new highs, but if we are about to reverse here and go up, will we see a similar fortune fate, for Bitcoin as we've seen in the past? That's
right here was the Bitcoin lows. Right here, yeah, March 2020, and then September 2019. Right here. I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, if we bounce similarly from this level, it makes you wonder. Well, you already mentioned it, of course, that it's going to be a bit of a headwind for crypto, but I'm wondering if it could be even more harsh than that.
Well, time will tell. I call it a headwind because I don't want to overstate my knowledge. I have a few years of experience. I have seen some things happen in the market a few times, but I don't want to declare that I am 100% sure on the way the markets are going to work at all times. But hey, you guys can look for yourself. When the Dixie moves up, Bitcoin has a tendency to move down, and vice versa. When the Dixie is moving down, Bitcoin has a tendency to be moving up.
I hate to say it, but on that monthly chart, when I look at it at first glance, I feel like it needs to go lower based on the pattern. But we are definitely right in the midst of finding out.
Indeed, we are. Is this going to be a big fake out, or is just going to be?
I think that turns into a 3 black crows.
Oh, you think just we break down by the end of this month?
Yeah, like within the last few weeks of January, I think that we start seeing something. But that would be the moment that it would happen. And that's what I'm kind of waiting to see, because I really don't know. Like, you're right. If we decide to V-bottom out of this, the Dixie goes up, I have a feeling that, there's going to be a lot of hits taken in the crypto market. But we've seen that historically.
Yeah. Basically, the one thing we cannot afford is this monthly trend break right here. If that broke, if the monthly downtrend broke, then most likely that would be really rough for crypto. We'd probably have like several months of a rough time.
We're gap filling $9,000.
Yeah, we do have gaps below us around 20 something and around 18, I think. So
there's a small one at 97.
All right, let's try to get to 100K first, and then we'll talk about big corrections. All right,
I'm
guys, don't pop the bubble just yet. Come on.
But it's not. As a trader, it's insane not to take in every possible outcome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, guys, we're just discussing possibilities. I have no idea what's going to happen here with the dollar, but what does look like it's going to happen is right now it's going sideways, whereas before it was going down, and that's something that's different.
Indeed. All right. Let's get to the requests. I got two more general questions to cover before we get into requests. First one is question from Peckham08. No joke. If you knew Bitcoin was going to 15,000, would you get a loan and go all in?
15,000. So like it's going down from here, and you go.
Yeah. He's basically saying if we did get a massive pullback to 15K, would that be?
I would never suggest that to anyone. Just based on that's you taking a lot of risk. I mean, I would always say just play with what you can risk, but going out and mortgaging a home and stuff like that, it would depend on your situation, man.
Yeah, I mean, I would pile into Bitcoin too. I'm just not sure if I would take out a home loan to go do it, Peckham. So Peckham, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but let's play it safe here. Don't.
That's what everybody should have done at 3K, not at 15K.
Yeah, should have taken your loan out at 3K precisely. But hey, then the game was up. Nobody wanted to buy. It was over. People were going.
Just always think about it from perspective of time, because in 3 years, what if in 3 years we're at 300K? You'd be like, well, I should have done it at 20. I think that's just going to keep doing. You're just going to keep running into that argument with yourself.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you should always mortgage your house and buy Bitcoin, because eventually Bitcoin's price will be up.
Yeah.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Trade responsibly, guys. Don't do anything reckless.
Yes, never trade with more than you have.
Yeah, absolutely, Peckham. I know it sounds like a great idea, but you might get you in trouble. That's nothing that we could ever advocate for in good conscience around here.
I'm pretty good at trading, and I wouldn't do that.
Indeed. All right, let's see here. We got another general question. This one's from Enyeku Charles. Is the alt season officially here? He asks. What do you guys think? Quick quick poll of the traders and maybe the audience. Is alt season
Well,
finally
I
here?
mean,
Season is here for a few weeks, so
Yeah.
definitely.
look at our past alt results of the past few weeks. I think we would agree that there have been a lot of alt movements that we've been definitely making profits on. So yeah, I think we've been in the middle of a
alt
small alt
season.
market.
Yeah, I called alt season when we broke out above the above the September highs. Let me reset this chart. Oh, I'm on lower time frames. Okay. Yeah, way back here. In November we started breaking out above these highs. Excuse me. This is actually in December. Pardon me. Is when I started talking about it. It was not November. So yeah, when we broke the highs on mid-perp, shit-perp, and stuff, late November or late December. That, as far as I'm concerned, is when alt season started. When we broke those September highs.
Let's see here in the live chat. Josh Batchelor says alt season hasn't quite hit yet. It's just barely starting. Alts have a lot of room to grow. Conscious Criminal. It's more like an alt holiday right now. It's like Christmas compared to winter. Let's see
I think
here.
the whole space has a lot of room to grow. So
Yeah, seems like the spring bloom is here. All my daisies in my coin folio are starting to blossom. So what can I say? It looks like alt season. This is the very early bit of alt season for sure. But yeah, I think like Alex has been calling alt season in the works since at least September. So I guess it depends. It's a little subjective, a little bit on perspective. But yeah, depending how closely you observe these markets, alt season might have sprung as early as late middle last year, kind of September last year. So how about that? All right, so we've covered the questions I had lined up here. Now I got a series of charts to look at. So Alex, you ready for this?
I am ready.
All
Begin
right.
the deluge.
Here we go. Let's open the floodgates to the requests. And this one is from Adam Cohen. Could you guys look at XTZ BTC pairing? It seems like it has room to go to the upside. Tezos BTC.
I think this looks like it wants to pull back, actually. Here we are at our resistance level. Kind of peter out on momentum here, as you can see. Get large, medium, small, red reversal.
yeah, and
So
no higher high.
Yeah, I think we'll probably pull back to test this resistance level as support. And that's where I would be looking to pick up XTZ. I do like that, as you can see, we have a break of this area right here. But that's kind of dependent on how you draw it. I mean, if I want to draw it just a little bit differently, then we're trapped underneath it here. So, your call. But I say that it's just not ready yet here on the Bitcoin pairing. Or at least it's setting up to be ready still. It's not like ready to take off today. So yeah, probably a pullback in the spot towards this area. What's next?
All right, excellent. Let's move into the next one. Shoutouts to Adam Cohen with the XTZ request. Next one comes from Agency. He just says chart, so I'm presuming he wants to look at the ChartEx coin. I know you've really turned him on to this one.
It's just kind of languishing sideways here. It looks like it's holding more steady than it actually is. I feel like for any ERC20 token, you should really be measuring it against Ethereum.
Yeah.
Like, am I better off if I just stayed in Ethereum? And for the most part, it has not been better to be in chart than in Ethereum. I hope that changes soon. I have not a huge bag, but I've got a bag of chart. I'm not happy that it's going sideways, but I still really believe in the platform, and I know that they're coming out with some big new features really soon. So you can look that up on your Twitter yourself or in the Discord. I don't have that right in front of me, but yeah, they're going to be adding a sushi swap integration and the ability to look at liquidity pools from inside of the browser. Thank you. Yeah. So it's essentially going to be like an indicator where you could be able to look at liquidity being added and subtracted and stuff like that, rather than having to go around different platforms and stuff. It'll be sweet. Anyway, but for right now, what can I say? It's sideways in dollar price, and in Ethereum price, you're just better off in Ethereum. So that kind of is what it is. What's next?
All right, that's ChartEx for agency. All right, moving into the next one. What do I have here? This is Crypto Caveman requesting AKRO USDT, please. AKRO.
Interesting. Aren't they getting a big listing? I recall reading something about AKRO recently. That's quite a big week for AKRO here.
Would have nailed it on the 13 EMA system.
Mm-hmm.
Would have got you in on the 14th of January, right when it crossed up.
I would say there's really nothing to do on AKRO right now. It may not even be time to take profits per se. We could come back down here and retest it, although maybe that's what we did on this candle right here.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for an entry, that's what I would look for. I would look for an entry down here. Otherwise, you probably just missed your opportunity. If you're still in it, I would just keep holding it. We don't really have any signs of any kind of reversal on higher time frames. Maybe a small 12-hour pullback sign, but it's not. I'm not seeing a huge amount of volume here. I would consider this actually to be very bullish. So, do we have more data here on AKRO? Yeah, here's some more data here. Interesting. Okay. So actually, now that we're looking at this data, we're at resistance in this spot. So if you're in from down here, it could make sense to just take profits in this area. I think it makes even more sense that we will come down and retest this area now. I thought we were making new all-time highs on AKRO USD, but as you can see, that's not true here. We've got a little bit more data on ChartEx to work with. Yeah, so I think that covers everything. For now, you might want to take profits in this area, pick up more if we pull back here. Otherwise, if we break through this level, I would hang on until we reach hopefully up here. We'll retest this area somewhere between somewhere in the 3-cent range. Okay, what's next?
All right, AKRO looking legit. Shoutouts to Crypto Caveman, who, by the way, has got the green channel supporter status here on YouTube. So, yeah, thanks for supporting us, and shoutouts to everybody else with the green status. And if you don't have it, there's a link down below in the description. Lets you activate supporter status here. Moving into the next one. This one comes from also Crypto Caveman. It's Uni, the Uniswap USDT pairing, please.
Okay. I was looking at this morning, and I thought it needed to pull back. I'm essentially looking at the break of this trend right here. However you want to draw it, we probably have broken it at this point.
Mm-hmm. Looking at it from my chart, I think you need a pullback to at least like the 675 range. That would put you on the...
It's a retest of the previous high right over here, the previous all-time high.
And if you go back to the beginning of the data, there was a shelf there at the very beginning before it sold off on the daily. See the very beginning of the data where it opened? I feel like that's going to end up being support. Just right there. That's where we're coming down to right about now.
Oh, right here, this area?
Yeah, 675, somewhere in there.
All right. So, all right, so we're looking at this volume historically. Oh, this is not the tool that I want. I want a rectangular box. Come on, TradingView. Don't you know what I mean when I choose the wrong tool? Gosh.
Jeez.
Okay.
Be like Google
so
and read my mind.
Area on historical data. Now let's zoom out and see what it's like.
And coincidentally, the 13 EMA is sitting right there at around the 675. That's why I just quickly got to that price.
Yep. So we're looking for a retest of this high, guys.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at data from back here. We like that area. Likes to visit this area. Hang out a minute. it's going to reverse, a nice little retest this area makes sense, and it'll be fine. We'll be essentially, retesting this trend.
Mm-hmm. Be perfectly healthy because price has moved quite a bit without making any kind of correction.
Yeah. So we can't take a short. We're above the daily baseline, but as far as a pullback, it looks pretty good if you're trying to find a place to get into uni. All right, what's next?
All right, thank you for the uni request, and got to shout out ANCAP Futures. He just became a green status channel supporter. Supreme supporter. I got to look at what the different tiers mean.
Higher than that, bud.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So, shout out to ANCAP. Thank you so much. As soon as I mentioned it, somebody went and clicked it and signed up right away. So, can't thank you enough, ANCAP. It's nice to have you around. He's definitely a regular. He's always one of the first people to comment when we go live. So, it's nice to see our hardcore members going full tilt and picking up the channel supporter status. Thank you again. Moving into the next one. This is super relaxed. Litecoin BTC looking interesting for a long-term play. What do you guys think?
Last time I looked at it, I would have to agree with you. Let's take a look again.
Me and Alex were actually just talking about this before.
Well, here on the monthly, you guys can see what I'm looking at, which is break of
going sideways out of a trend.
Yeah, well, I mean, we got this descending wedge right here, essentially decreasing volatility. Volatility is so small now on the monthly that we got this monthly doji right here. Remember what happens after low volatility comes periods of high volatility. We love this retest to the bottom right here. We come back up towards essentially this the center of volume here. We don't have a strong weekly signal, but as far as if for a long-term investment in Litecoin against Bitcoin, if you're like, I've held my Bitcoin for a while and I think I want to pick up some Litecoin, is this the time? This looks like it might be the time. If you're trying to decide whether it's time to pick Litecoin today versus other altcoins, I don't know if it's time yet. We could still spend a few more weeks down here kind of accumulating before we really take off on Litecoin. Because remember, this is a monthly trend here that we just broke out of. So we could just trade sideways for just 2 or 3 more months. Just 2 or 3 of these more candles here, and then here in March. Then it starts to take off. So there could be a lot of opportunity cost involved here, and I would caution you against that. But if you're looking for... Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's also always super important to do what you just did and make sure you zoom out a little bit, because you can start pressuring yourself into believing that I have to do it now. And you're right, there's an opportunity cost there that it might go sideways for 2 months that you might just not be able to handle.
Yeah, guys, I thought Litecoin looked like a great buy over here, and it did, but then it was more sideways and then down. And it could do that again. We could come up again and then retest the bottom again before Litecoin ever takes off. So think about the opportunity costs inherent in buying and holding. And sometimes it makes sense and sometimes it doesn't. And often it depends on what your goals are.
If you're looking...
decide, do I want to hold on to Bitcoin or Litecoin? Yeah, maybe it's time to switch some of that Bitcoin over into Litecoin. But if you're looking like, what do I want to make money off of this week?
Yeah. Are you investing or trading? I mean, that's a big difference. Yeah,
probably not Litecoin this week. But just probably. I don't know. Maybe it'll just take straight off here, but...
And that's the thing I'm looking at right now, because Litecoin on a much more sensitive system like my 13 is actually giving me a long signal today, but WADA is just not quite there as of now. We still have, like I said, 5 more hours, but we'll not be taking that at all if WADA doesn't get there. But it could be a good opportunity. When we're looking at the difference between the 13 and the 60, to mine it looks like an initial entry signal, and to Alex's it looks like a baseline test.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like Alex is right, it could go either way here.
Yeah, tough call on Litecoin, looking fairly strong, but
Yeah, I don't think Litecoin Bitcoin is going to go down more here, but we could go sideways for a few months, and in that case, why not be in a different alt? So let's just wait for a good strong Litecoin signal, and then we'll
don't
hit
forget
Litecoin.
that Spark token airdrop is coming to Litecoin fairly soon. Maybe that'll be the moon juice it needs.
Whatever. All right.
All right, let's quickly shout out Jonah. Love the show. They just became a helpful supporter of the channel. So
2 in a day.
Yeah, 2 in a day. Really nice to have such a loyal audience who's willing to step in and support us. We love doing everyone's requests, and
I just really hope that you guys are doing that because at some point we have helped you along, or you have made money off of the things that we're talking about, because it's not that we're like trying to push anything on people or anything like that. We're more just trying to educate people on what we do. And it turns out that you can make some pretty good money doing this if you begin to build your own. It's basically, it boils back down to education. If you start educating yourself, there's a lot of money to be made here, and I just hope that we are helping you guys out at the same time.
Yeah, we appreciate your generosity, and don't give unless you absolutely can, and yeah, don't give if you don't take any value or any education away from what we do here. I'm sure that these guys aren't just giving away frivolously. But I'm sure if you stay here for a few weeks, few months, and you really warm up to the community and you really love what you do, feel free to pull the trigger on supporter status or anything like that. So yes, thank you so much, Jonah. Love the show. I really appreciate having
really
you,
awesome to see.
having Jonah in here every day. And now they got a green supporter status. It seems very befitting of members of the caliber of Jonah. But let's get into the next request, guys. Here we go. All right, next one was also Litecoin. This came from Crypto Bull. He asked if Litecoin is on that list. Yeah, we looked at Litecoin just now, Litecoin BTC. If you wanted Litecoin USD, we can maybe round up to that later. Just let us know if that's what you were looking at. In the meantime,
real quick, but I mean, I think what when we look at the Bitcoin pairing, and the Bitcoin pairing is telling us that Bitcoin is the better opportunity, and we know that Bitcoin itself is trading sideways, then Litecoin here, it also here. Let's take out our baseline. Yeah, here on Litecoin, we're below the daily baseline, just like we are on Bitcoin. It's not super exciting. We haven't made a new high here. We're still under resistance. Why not be in Ethereum instead, right? As a matter of fact, let's look at Litecoin Ethereum. Let's look at the Litecoin Ethereum pairing. Until we get a break of this trend, Ethereum's just going to be the better choice. So that's another thing to keep an eye on. So these are all different ways to look at the market, guys. There's thousands of different ways to view the market, and if you look at the market through that mirror, through that window, there's a way to make money off of that. It's like, okay, well, is it better to be in this asset or this asset? Well, you can look at them paired together and decide it just from looking at it. This is telling us that until things change, Ethereum's a better choice than Litecoin, and it has been since December.
Yeah, it's been rip roaring, that is for sure. It's even the headline of today's show. All right, let's move into the next one. This is from S. Hyatt in the live chat. He's asking for Keep USD, please.
Okay. I think we were looking at this yesterday. I think we looked at it here, though. Did I look at it on Kraken? No. We'll just use this. Anyway, it looks fantastic. If you ended up taking this trade, then good on you, sir. Good on you. Let's get some support and resistance levels here. If we're lucky, I would look for a pullback towards this area right here. This, you see, it's a consolidation area right here. We get some support here, resistance. So I like this spot right here.
Look at the wick on Kraken on Keep.
Kraken's always like that. Kraken has really shitty liquidity, so we might have gotten the wick down in this area earlier. But if we can trade down here again, that would be a place to re-enter or enter if you're looking to. Otherwise, I think I would look to take Keep at least towards 40 cents, if not 70 cents. And most likely once we hit 70 cents, probably pull back and then, you know, do the thing price does, up, down, up. So yeah, we'll see on Keep, but if you're still in it, I would just be holding. I wouldn't take profits here in this spot.
All right, hold the door on Keep. I just took a look at the stats. Uniswap is the volume leader on Keep, so followed by Kraken. So yeah,
Uniswap is volume here on a lot of things.
It seems that way. Yeah, it's crazy that people are eating those fees to do it. But you know what? I like it. I don't mind paying more to trade on Uniswap from time to time. Just because I don't know, I just feel dirty when I log on to Binance and some of these other shitcoin casinos. Just kind of doing a peer-to-peer, it just feels right to me. It feels natural, even if I have to pay a premium for it. Kind of isolating out that third-party risk.
I like organic shitcoins. I don't like farm shitcoins.
It's something about isolating out the counterparty risk, you know.
Yeah. I hear what you mean.
Doing
the middleman.
Yeah, doing the peer-to-peer and kind of like doing your own contracts on the blockchain versus somebody's like proprietary platform. I don't know, just feel better that way. I don't care if it costs me more. But that's the Uniswap magic, guys. Alright, maybe that's why the Unicoin is doing so well. Let's take a look. I got another request lined up here. This one comes from SilT in the live chat. ENJ USDT, please. Yeah, ENG, top of the bubbles leaderboard today. Let's see what it's doing.
Oof. Well, I hope you bought it yesterday because it is way too late today.
Way overextended.
Your hope is maybe we'll get a pullback towards like 27, 28 cents. See this volume down here? Maybe. It's just gone. So if you're holding, I would just keep holding. And if you're not, then maybe pull back towards 24 cents, 25, 30 cents, somewhere in that area. I would layer some buys. I cannot tell from this volume if there's any specific area that I'll be most attracted to. But that's really your only hope. Some spots right here, see? 28 cents, 26 cents. These are all interesting, attractive spots to set some buys. Yeah, other than that, congratulations on your win if you're still in it. What's next?
All right, let's move into the next one. Thank you for the... oh, actually, he's got a second request with that. SilT also requested Neo USDT. That's also worthy a look. I know we looked at it yesterday, but let's follow up now.
It had quite a day yesterday, if I remember correctly. Yep.
We're just trading sideways today. Starting to look like we may pull back towards $22 here. It's really going to depend. Now, maybe that's dumb. It's probably more likely that if we're holding above this resistance level that we're going to keep moving up. While I do like the volume down here, everything else has been just so bullish. It doesn't make much sense to try and look for any big pullback like that. We've just made a new swing high. See, here we are breaking the September swing highs that we're talking about. So likely to continue making highs on Neo here. I'm just kind of concerned by the fact that we appear to be trapped underneath this point of control we're forming right here. It's kind of like, boop, right underneath that spot. That's interesting to me, but it's not necessarily bearish.
I know Bob would be screaming 3-bar play at you.
Yeah. we'll keep our eyes on it. Maybe you can get just a slightly better entry here. Maybe we do just come down, retest the previous high here around $24, $25, and then continue onwards.
All right, that's about Neo. We've got a little over 30 minutes left in the show. Let's power through these remaining requests. All right, this one is Vidush in the live chat requests EOS USD, please.
I think there is nothing for us to do on EOS. We're inside of the no trade zone right here on the daily. So our daily baseline is telling us don't trade. Here we are underneath the 12-hour baseline. Should really only be looking for, if we were using the 12-hour baseline to look for shorts, that means we should be looking for shorts. Crossed under here on the 4-hour. I think overall there's just nothing for us to do yet on EOS. Crazy, I know, but the major alts are still lagging. All the shitcoins. So
EOS is the new stablecoin. It's what XRP was a little while ago. Seemingly permanent sideways.
Just made me remember that I did take an EOS long-term position that I forgot about.
Well, one thing that I really like here is yesterday we got this retest of the low and we held support here. This is incredibly bullish. I love this for EOS Bitcoin right here. I feel almost secure in saying that we are likely to hold this support level continuing forward.
You're saying you really like that price absorption?
Yeah, I love this. I love this huge wick down into these areas of liquidity right here.
I agree.
And it's really beautiful. It's so beautiful. I can't.
Well, I pray this EOS does flip into something juicy again. It's, there's nothing worse. I'm sure many people know this, especially if you got an array of alt positions, a big alt portfolio. When alt season finally hits and, all your random calls, some of them spring forth, but then sometimes you're that one guy where it's like all the alts you picked this season are not getting any love. And that's probably the worst feeling. That's how I feel about EOS. Everything else seems to go off. It's kind of like, I'm telling you, it's kind of like holding XRP now. It's like the one alt that just nothing ever happens.
I'll say this, looking at some of the other daily charts and some of the other exchanges, they look less impressive. But I still maintain that as long as we hold that support level, then EOS looks good. What's next?
All right, moving into the next one. Let's get this. This one's XLM. This comes from, K1. Let's call him K1 in the live chat asking for Stellar.
Looks like finally just got stopped out on that BTC position we've been riding for the last week.
Yeah, we're still just trading sideways here on Stellar. I'm still not really interested in this. We're still really far above our baseline too. More sideways here. I don't think Stellar's that interesting in this spot yet. I would still wait for that pullback towards 20 cents, 18 cents, and maybe try and pick it up there. Right now, it kind of looks like it's distributing. So I would wait on Stellar in this spot.
All right, let's hang on to Stellar for now and move it.
Our momentum here. Look at our momentum oscillator. There's just no momentum whatsoever. There's no volatility. There's no reason to take a trade here on XLM. XLM is telling us just don't touch it. So
yeah, XLM has been like one of the few laggards that I've really been seeing. I've been hoping that it just pops up here, but I might just have to exit it.
Getting dragged down by the XRP Association and similar sentiment.
Most likely.
Apparently, the Ukrainian CBDC announcement, didn't do too much. Kind of like EOS. EOS had that big Microsoft cloud. What was it? Yeah, I think it was like not Microsoft. Was that Microsoft Cloud or was it Google Cloud? It was some Google Cloud announcement where Google Cloud was bringing some kind of EOS support to its platform. That only went so far. you know, that pumped it for about 3 hours, and yeah, it seems like earth-shattering news doesn't really do much for some of these laggards. All right, let's get into the next one.
You blackguard.
Conscious Criminal also requested Stellar, but he went on to request Cardano, and I saw a few other Cardano requests in the live chat. So
All right.
Including David Rice. Yeah, David Rice also requesting.
Not much for us to do here right now on ADA. There was a chance of entering a continuation long here in this spot. I think I mentioned yesterday that I just missed it, didn't see it. So, yeah, we're just sitting on our hands here waiting for some other kind of continuation signal on ADA Bitcoin. As far as the USDT pairing goes, well, this too is looking like it may pull back along with some of the other alts towards, to retest these highs right here. So we do have a 12-hour sell signal right here. You see we're starting to put in some lower candles right here. It's nothing that you would write home about. We don't even have like a super strong short signal. We're not below the daily baseline or anything. But I would still suggest that there's nothing for us to do with ADA at this point in time until we get a stronger daily signal. And then it'll be more obvious, so we can take it.
All right, passing on ADA for now. Let's get into the next few. We got about a little under 30 minutes left in the show. Looks like we'll probably get through these. And all right, Josh Batchelor also requested ADA. That's done. And a few others. That one's done, but he did request.
Get out of here.
Yeah, requested quite a few, so we're gonna have to. Let me see if I can weigh these against another one that was requested earlier. How much interest do we have in these? All right, let's Alex pick maybe one or two of these. Waves, VET, ZRX, OMG.
Let's look at Waves and VET because we're in those positions.
Yep.
Beautiful.
And look at ZRX as well because I am currently in one as well.
Okay. I think it's totally fair for transparency that we should always, people request those trades, we should look at them. So.
Yep.
Waves, did we hit take profit 1 on that?
I would assume so.
Waves, we did hit take profit 1. Our stop loss is now break even at 640. Wait, 830. Did we hit take profit 2 or did we just miss it? Yep. We 831.3. 830. Oh no. Oh, we missed it by like 1 cent. Oh well. Probably at the end of today we'll be exiting our Waves trade. We're starting to get a take profit / early exit signal here. So we'll be exiting in profits. It's fine. It's a shame we missed take profit 2, but whatever. I think there's nothing to do on Waves right now. We might come back down and retest the point of control. If we got that, then maybe that would be a signal to. We'd probably also be retesting the baseline at that point. Maybe that'd be a place where you can re-enter and try and score another long towards the highs right here of maybe $8.50, $9. But for now, nothing to do. Let's go ahead and take a look at VET, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, VET was one.
Kind of slapped in the face here at resistance. This is not super encouraging. I don't think we had take profit 1 here. I think we just entered that recently. Yeah, it's our most recent trade. So
you entered it yesterday.
Yeah, I entered it yesterday. Okay. So yeah, essentially we entered at the top here. Most likely we're gonna have to take a loss at the end of today on this one.
Still a lot of time left in the candle. Could get bought back up, but as of now, yeah, it does look like an early exit.
We'll see. Actually, this is not crossed over yet. So you always have to be careful where you have to zoom in. If it's like this, it's not actually crossed.
Lobster claw.
Yeah. Anyway, that is not looking fantastic here. I think there's better alts out there to be taking, ones that have made new highs and are continuing to do so. Please refresh my memory. What else we're looking at?
Let's also take a look at ZRX.
Of course.
ZRX BTC is the one that I have us in right now.
Okay.
We just have the last 20% of it riding. I do believe today is going to give us that early exit signal, though. Currently, from where we entered, that position is up 16.25%, and I know that we locked in TP 159, TP2 at 1725. So yeah, we're still doing well on CRX. So
I think there's definitely nothing for us to do on ZRX right now as far as taking a trade. We're crossing under here on the daily. This will probably be a sign to exit the trade, as a matter of fact. But that being said, I like this to retest the highs of 7 cents, 7.5, or excuse me, 70 cents, 75 cents right here. It's looking very fractally in this spot.
looking fractally.
It is looking a little fractally.
But if you get that crossover, that's going to be confirmed bearish divergence.
Yeah. So what's our daily trend? Our daily trend is like down here.
So that will probably end up being an early exit signal for me today at close.
Yeah. So fine. Early exit signal, and then we trade sideways, and then we have a breakout. Totally normal for a bullish trend here. So like I said, we could get something just like this. Down today, sideways, another down, and then boom, up. So we'll see what happens here on ZRX, but for right now, I'm not that interested in it for today. What's next?
All right, let's get into the next few. Let's see here. This one comes from David Windle. Can you take a look at CyberFi, CFI? It's a unicoin.
Okay. I say it is time to take some profits off the table, buddy.
Yeah, very overextended.
If you're in it, you had a good run. Here we are at resistance. We're putting in these big wicks up into it. Now we got this reversal candle. It was a great run. I would try and pick it back up. Maybe around $3.50. Maybe $4.50. I don't really know. I like these two areas for potential pullback spots, but yeah, I would not buy into this spot right here. I would long here.
Don't be greedy. Take your profits.
Yep. What's next on our agenda?
All right, congrats to Dave Windle if you managed to clear some money on that trade. Let's get into the next one. F60.
And also, just to add to that real quick, if you got in a great entry on that, just take 50% off, let it ride with your stop loss to break even, and then if you want to pick it up on the pullback, pick it up. Because if it takes off, yeah, if it
take out your initial, it's all house money, buddy.
Yep. And then if it runs, great, man, let it keep running. And if it pulls back, get back in, and then you're gonna have a better run the second time, probably.
You will always sit more comfortably in a position when you know that it has become impossible for you to lose money on that position.
Exactly.
Like, you may not make as much as you thought you were going to make, but knowing you're not going to lose any money while you're asleep or something like that, you sleep much more soundly.
That's exactly the premise behind hit TP1, stop loss to break even, because I want to hit TP1 as soon as possible just so I can get out of the emotional state of, can I lose money in this position?
Yep, and also
I think it's very important that we, as for you newer traders, it's really important for you to take your own psychological state into mind when you're trading. Mm-hmm. If you were to adopt a trading strategy that, it wins 20% of the time, they're bangers, but you lose 80% of the time, that could be really hard to take psychologically. It can be hard to be in a position that is in drawdown, like 50% drawdown, 60% drawdown. Mm-hmm. Even though there's plenty of systems that are like, oh yeah, you'll be in drawdown, but then eventually you'll be back up and you'll win. That's really hard to endure. People tend to sell in those situations, you lose money, and that's when price pumps. It's rough. It's hard. So
especially when you're not position sizing appropriately, because it's hard to stomach those things even when you are position sizing correctly. But if you're losing your entire account balance day to day, just sitting in something, it's very hard emotionally to deal with.
It's hard having everything on the line in one thing. Mm-hmm. Do you really want to have everything on the line all the time? I don't. Guys, I have a huge risk appetite, okay? And even I don't have everything in the market at all times.
Well, it's important to not, because you understand that if that were the case, there could be a situation to where you could lose it all.
Yeah.
Like you should never allow that.
It's compounded in particular on not ChartEx, but Uniswap, where you don't really have easy stop limit orders, right? It's not like Bybit,
right.
where every time you put on a position on Bybit or some other exchange, centralized exchange, you're usually immediately dialing in a stop loss, right? And ChartEx, you don't really, Uniswap, you don't really have that luxury unless you're using maybe 3 commas or some of these other ones, which I still think are failure prone. It's pretty much you got to be there to catch the movement, and so it's that much more comfortable to obviously take your profit, take your initial out, and then whatever happens, whatever massacre on Uniswap happens, you're still okay. You can still sleep soundly at night knowing you're not staring at the ChartEx. All right, let's get in.
Sleep super important, guys, and anyone who's done this for a hot minute understands that you can have a lot of sleepless nights if you aren't completely secure in what you're doing. If you don't have systems that give you your take profits and stops, and you're just buying stuff and stressing out on, is this going to go up or down? You're never going to sleep, and you're going to end up burning yourself out, if not bankrupting yourself.
Yeah. Plus, you'll spend hours a day staring at the chart, just spinning your wheels, going nowhere. That's time could be opportunity.
Analysis paralysis.
Yeah. It's just I'm sure a lot of noob traders. I'm sure a lot of us probably started out like that. The beauty of eventually becoming more professional, developing
Gotta learn those lessons.
Is you free up a lot of your time. You stop spending as much, wasting as much time on here. It's about being efficient as a trader. It's not enough that you just, you eked out some kind of profits at the end of the month. Did you do it efficiently? Is there a way that you can still earn the same amount trading?
Are you earning money and living your best life at the same time, or is it consuming you?
Yeah, and if you have a habit of, waking up and checking your phone throughout the night, looking at what the charts are doing, that's a bad habit. You need to tune that out and get a solid sleep.
Also, you're probably not going to do your best trading when you're not taking care of your health and you're sleep deprived and you're stuck on the charts.
You're best thinking.
Probably not at your best. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm trading my account, I would, especially if I'm swinging my whole account, I would much rather be at my best than not at my best, right?
Indeed.
Right.
Simple but effective rules. All right, let's get into the next request. This one comes from Agency. He's requesting Unistake, please.
All right, I believe that's just stake.
Stake, yeah, I think that's stake.
This, I like this.
Yeah, just you like that test, don't you?
You get these sometimes,
Yeah, break a trend, then you come back down to test it. Yep.
And here, retest. There's an argument to be made for this too, but
I like the first one myself.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep, I like that.
I would say right now is not a place where you would want to enter because we do seem to be at resistance. So here we got support right here, resistance here in this spot. It's our daily trend over here. I would just try and if you're looking for an entry, I would try and score one back towards a retest towards 15 cents here, or $15 here, 15.20. We got resistance, resistance, resistance. Come back and retest it as support. Pretty normal before continuation. And then, of course, if we broke below the daily trend, then I'd be looking to get out. What's next?
Okay, let's get into the next one. Okay, B-Flow says all gas, no brakes. I'm not sure that's in reference to, but yeah, that's a saying I live by, ride or die, right? All or nothing, YOLO.
He's probably just talking about those gas fees.
I hear Jack say ride or die all the time.
Yeah, 100x.
It's favorite phrase.
If I could slide that slider even further to the right, I would, okay? But on days like this, B-Flow says... Hey, it's a bull market. When is a better time to hit the gas and not consider consequences? I'm joking, of course. Nobody do anything reckless, but sometimes you gotta have a little fun. Let's see here. We got the next request coming up ZRX and OMG. We did ZRX.
Yep.
I'm not sure if you want to look at OMG.
All right, sure. We'll make it quick. Looks like it's going to cross under. Nothing really for us to do here in this spot. Yesterday was a long signal that you could have taken. But, I mean, you really should have been in it if you're going to take the continuation signal back here. So, actually, there's just really nothing to do on OMG right now. What's next?
All right, brief, perfect. Let's get into the next one. We've got 15 minutes in the show, and I'm going to just name off what's left in the queue, and then Alex, you tell me which one of these you want to do. BCH, ZIL, an update on Ethereum, GRT, and finally CRO.
We can do them all.
All right, start BCH. This is from Aziz
Actually, I'm
Devon.
starting with CRO USDT.
Let's do CRO then.
Come get your cards.
So I think, as we suggested, we got a full retest of this area. Wow, in one day?
Mm-hmm.
I think CRO is likely good for continuation in this spot. Yesterday we broke resistance. Boom. Today we hold it. It's likely good to take to like 10 cents, I think. That's what it looks like in this spot. So for now, I think I am relatively bullish on Crow. So ZIL. Nothing to do. We're below the daily baseline. As a matter of fact, we could be getting a continuation short signal here at the end of today, which we just might take. We shorted ZIL over here, and we nailed that one. So I think I nailed it right here. So I am interested in taking ZIL back down towards 5 cents. We'll see what happens.
All right, that's ZIL for Aziz Devon.
I would love the opportunity to take a short because we've been so long in this market that even taking a short is just like a hedge against being so long.
Yep, a hedge against all your other long positions.
So I am eager to take some kind of short in this market right now. So
all right, maybe ZIL is going to be.
Maybe you just found it.
It's going to be it. All right, I have to scroll back a little bit and shout out G-Man in the live chat. He just became a helpful supporter of the channel, so shout outs to G-Man. He's got the green supporter status now. Today's a good day for that. We got three people.
In one day, baby.
Yep.
It's got to be a record for us.
G-Man says hello and I hope all is well. All right, indeed it is, G-Man. All the best to you. Much love. Thank you so much for your support. Appreciate everybody who signed up today, and of course I appreciate everyone such as Jonah Love the Show, who also became a supporter today, and they just wrote, to be honest, it's hard to switch off because the 3 time zones, they move the markets like clockwork, no pun. Yeah, that's something
that's just you. I'll be honest with you, that might just be your fear of missing out, though, because here's the thing, it'll keep moving regardless of whether you're looking at it, so why not just find the most opportune times that work for you?
When you're on the daily time frame, buddy, you don't have to worry about the 3 different time zones.
Yep.
They're all inside one single candle.
I still feel for the people in the UK and in Europe. I feel like something is lost in translation to us trading in, say, the Eastern or Central time zone in the US. We do kind of close our daily candle at a kind of convenient and intuitive time. I figure if you're over there and it's like 2 or 3 a.m., I don't know. I can see how it throws things out of whack, but maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. But, my condolences to Jonah. Love the show. I understand that working across multiple time zones can mess with you and maybe have you looking at the phone and the charts more often than you should. But I'm sure our analysts are making a good point where, just trade it daily, approach it in a systematic way, try to cut the fat, all right? Let's do the next request. Thank you again to the fresh channel supporters. Let's close out these last few. All right, one of them was BCH from Mr. Devon.
I hope B-Flow's lying.
Yeah, B-Flow, you can't do that.
Kind of trapped here underneath resistance in lower time frames. Looks like we kind of want to sweep back towards $400. Then break of our lower time frame uptrend here. It's not necessarily super bearish. I would maybe take a pullback towards this area right here, retest this high. So not a huge pullback I'm looking for on Bitcoin pairing. Maybe this means we're going to get a pullback on Bitcoin itself, and that's going to take down the USDT pairings. What's that look like? Ooh. It's kind of doing the same thing Zill's doing, right? And here we are underneath our resistance. Very interesting. What's next?
All right, let's get into the final few here. This one comes from it's Saleh in the live chat. GRT USDT, please. The graph.
All right, what's GERD up to? Looks like it's pulling back in this spot.
Great. Yeah, I sold out my initial investment at 60 cents.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, I would suggest that we're just getting a relatively normal pullback in this spot for Graph token. Maybe a retest of this previous resistance level here at 48 cents. So that is this. So maybe just, just a little bit further down to here. And then as long as we hold this trend, that's the daily trend, and there's a chance we can make a new all-time high here on Graph token. Lots of other tokens are doing it. All the other cool tokens are doing it.
Even we're getting into it.
Could be a good setup for sure.
What's next?
All right, we've got everything basically wrapped up. We got 8 minutes left in the show. It gives us time to pace ourselves for the final 2 questions here. Let me take a look. Christian Zeldon in live chat just asked, can we look at the dollar chart today? Any thoughts on major medium-term resistances? We looked at the Dixie. Yeah, we looked at the Dixie. Well, Crypto Bull just answered 53 minutes into the show. So yes, rewind 53 minutes or wait till the show's done and check out the timestamps after the show. They'll definitely guide you toward the Dixie. And let's see here. Final couple requests before I get into the chat. So here, one was can you look at the Ethereum on the hourly? So I guess a lot of people are getting worried that things are turning around. Alex,
it's going to zero.
Alex, what do you think? How's Ethereum look on the hourly? Any sign that this is petered out?
I mean, I showed you this broken trend here at the beginning of the show, and here we are down here. I think it looks normal. This looks like a pullback to retest these 2 areas of volume. I would grab my Ethereum long in this spot, probably.
Yep.
I'm telling you guys, I am not going to be bearish while we're over the all-time high. If we were to close back below 1,300 on the daily, well then I would, hey, it's going to be bearish on Ethereum after all. But until then, looking for longs, looking for longs, looking for longs, looking for longs.
Although seemingly a bit of a bearish reversal sentiment seeming to blow into the space.
They have to go. Well, I always like it when that happens because that usually means the opposite thing's about to happen.
Yeah, just like Alex said, let's not lose perspective. We are all-time highs above it. Mm-hmm. Things in the very bullish. We seem to be in a bullish market. Let's not get too scared lately, and that's kind of the impression I'm getting. Why? I mean, I'm sure people are saying this kind of sarcastically, but someone earlier in the chat said it's over. Market crashed. I'm out of here. Goodbye. Like they hit the dislike button and they logged off. They're like, I'm out of here, you guys. You and this.
Well, I also said in the chat, zoom out. Like
that's precisely.
It has not crashed at all.
I know. We do have the little mini chart in the bottom right of the stream, guys. That's a 3-minute chart. Okay, so when you see a cascade of red, just remember it's on the 3-minute. Let's not panic. And if you're looking at 3 minutes on your own chart, you need to back off, zoom out, look at the trend on the daily, on the weekly, and then you'll probably grow to appreciate things a little differently. All right, let's So we've answered the Ethereum outlook. Even on the hourly, I think we've said all that needs to be said here. Finally, this is a follow-up to the ChartEx discussion and cap futures. If TradingView adds these features, would the ChartEx die? Could or would TradingView add those charts and features? I'm wondering.
I don't see TradingView ever adding blockchain analytics. And that's what they do differently over at ChartEx. They have their own system of pulling the prices and stuff out of the blockchain data rather than getting pricing out of APIs or anything like that. I don't know for sure that TradingView wouldn't add stuff like that, but they haven't hinted that they're interested in adding anything like that at all. It's one thing to add price data, and it's another thing to add blockchain analytics. You know what I mean?
And
Indeed.
on the other side of that, the way I think about it is, if TradingView was going to start to do that, it would be because someone like Chart is doing so well with it. So that would actually be more bullish for Chart in the long run, in my head, because competition is usually what fuels these things. So I think that would be more bullish looking at ChartEx than it would be looking at TradingView.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Kind of goes to show you that even though ChartEx is relatively like an upstart, it pretty soon we're talking about a legit competitor to TradingView, right? At least in some ways. With certain feature set, it certainly looks like it has.
I think of it as a companion to TradingView. Okay, like ChartEx is not for it's not for commodities markets. It's not for the broader traditionals and stuff. It's focused solely on very difficult to chart shitcoins, essentially, and and because it's focused, I think it does an amazingly good job on that, better than TradingView does for those things. And I think it would be upset if ChartEx started to broaden its focus, because then it really will overlap TradingView, because right now I don't view them as competitors because they're doing different things. But you're right. That would become the case if TradingView did start doing blockchain analytics. Right now, there's no sign that they're going to do that, though.
Yeah, and I think that they'll let ChartEx be that front runner in that aspect to see if they fail at it or whatever. And then if they become big enough, they'll be like, okay, well, I guess we got to start competing with this too,
Yeah, indeed. Interesting perspectives here. I like both of your thoughts, gentlemen. Let's see here. What do we have left? We've got about 2 minutes left in the show. We've got all the requests done except for whatever's flooding in right now into the live chat at the last minute. Let me review the last few comments, see if there's something here that we got to look at. All right, one person requesting Ethereum Classic, please. All right. Let's enter, since it's an Ethereum day here on the channel. Let's entertain. ETC is one of the last requests.
Still looking rough. Not any kind of break a trend yet.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for like a lower time frame trade, then as soon as we break this, I would be willing to take a long on it. It looks pretty good. I mean, it could break soon here.
Yeah. At least back up to the baseline,
Yeah. So I would take it maybe back towards $8.15. That looks like a good trade. On the daily, there's really nothing for. Is it true there's nothing for us to do here?
Looks like you just got that crossover.
You could, I think we got it yesterday, actually. You could take a continuation long here. I don't know that I'm super excited by it. We don't have a lot of momentum, but you don't necessarily need it for continuation long.
You haven't dipped back below the baseline yet, so it's still a continuation.
I like that it's holding resistance here. Resistance turns support in this spot. The Ethereum Classic ETH pairing is telling us it's just better to be in regular Ethereum. It has been all year. I think this is really the chart that should be our takeaway. At least on on higher time frames, it appears that Ethereum is better than Ethereum Classic. If this changes at all, if we can get a reversal in this, then I think maybe you should be interested in it. But until then, why don't you just go with the one where the market is telling you that it's bullish, it's making new all-time highs. You know, everybody's interested in Ethereum, everybody's making ERC20s on the Ethereum blockchain. Well, you know, what's Ethereum Classic doing? I know it's doing some things, but not nearly as much. So, yeah. Right now, Ethereum ETH is telling us just be an ETH instead. Just be an ETH.
Why look at something that's very close to making a new all-time low when you have something that's making a new all-time high?
Yeah.
All right. So we've covered quite a bit today. We've got all the requests really done and knocked out of the park today. Thank you to Alex for covering all the chart and TA action today. John Batchelor, hope you also appreciate. Well, yes, we definitely nailed the ETC request there. I see BlockchainGains in the live chat saying BNGO daily if you have time, please, good sirs. It's currently breaking all-time highs, some kind of new medical product. Please, can we take a look at it? It's up 1,500%. All right, BlockchainGains wants to show off his BNGO gains. I'm guessing some kind of traditional.
Well, you win, bud.
That's pretty nice.
Bionano Genomics. Okay. Are these the guys building the stormtroopers over on
Certainly feels like it.
what's the name of the planet where they built the clone troopers?
Alderaan? No.
Genosis. No, not Genosis.
I would keep my eye on this logarithmic trend. If we can hold it, if we keep pushing higher, fantastic, great. If we pull back here, I would become a buyer again around $2.50. I really like the volume in this area right here.
Nice high volume node.
Yep. At least a retest of $4.25 as support here. Although I think if we do get a strong pullback, because this is a parabolic move, so where's an 80% pullback here? What would we expect if we pull back in this spot? Here, an 80% move is right around the $2, $2.50 range. Okay, I think this makes sense. And this is not to say that it will pull back in this spot, dude. I don't want, if you're like up a whole lot, you don't necessarily need to get scared out. Like I said, keep your eyes on this trend. If it breaks, then it's probably going to pull back. If it does that, this is where I would look to pick it up.
You'll likely have a couple days on the break of that trend to make that decision, so don't scare yourself out too quick. But if you were in that from the beginning, you shouldn't have any problem taking any profit with that kind of gain.
And here, guys, when we look at the historical data, $2.50 is a really strong consolidation area in the past. Look at that. Price likes $2.50. So it'd be pretty normal to get a retest of this previous consolidation area before we get a continuation here on the week. So just, come down over a couple weeks, continue onwards. Easy peasy.
Lemon squeezy.
All right, beautiful.
I don't know if it's really going to be easy peasy, but I think that makes the most sense here. So
I agree.
Yeah, so here we are. It would make sense that we would pull back a little bit right before the all-time highs of its listing price. So be cautious. But yeah, goodbye, dude.
Okay, BlockchainGains says
Goodbye.
thank you guys so much. All right, I'm sure he appreciates that quick TA. Agency says, I'm a ChartEx whale. I own almost 1% of the ChartEx supply. What a boss. Yes.
There you go.
Agency.
Don't forget us noobs.
He's a believer. He's going whale status over on the ChartEx. All right.
Hey, hang out on their server. They're quality developers over there. You know, they know what they're doing. I've seen a little bit of what's to come. You know, I've talked to developers, so I've seen pictures of the liquidity stuff. It's real. It exists. I don't know when they're going to do the update. Probably, sometime in the next month or so. But I have high hopes for it. But like I said earlier, it kind of hasn't moved yet. So,
you know what that is? It's because the quality in this space almost goes nowhere. Trades kind of sideways, develops like a bit of a niche following, and it's the garbage that somehow ends up pumping and I guess inevitably dumping. But it's just funny how far disconnected we are from like the fundamentals and reality on the ground. There's just so much crap that seems to float to the top. It's incredible. And so
that's why I always question whether or not fundamentals actually matter in this case.
Yep, totally.
Mm-hmm.
But this is where you have to be a shrewd trader to capture some of the action and not be the one left holding the bag. You want to be the guy hodling through the whole bear market for 3 years, do you? Don't think so.
I like to be in and out quick, man.
Don't think so. So, all right, guys, that's pretty much it. We went slightly over exactly 2 hours if we count the intro. It's been beautiful.
Give us some likes. Push us over 50. Come on.
Yeah, guys, hit the likes, jam them up, break off the like button if you have to. Hit it.
Break it.
Yeah. Do the thing.
Do the thumbs thing.
Shoutouts to Christian Zeldon, T-Dub, Agency, and everyone else who joined us today. Jezzacoin, who said, I'm in Spain. I stay up for the daily candle close at 1 a.m. and then I call it a day. Indeed, that's how I imagine many of the Euro traders probably have to conduct themselves. But thank you to everybody who, of course, also subscribed to the channel supporter status today. That's
awesome
a huge
day, guys.
appreciation. We're going to be back tomorrow for your Wednesday update. Fingers crossed this crazy breakout continues. This has been kind of a historic day in Ethereum history. It was nice to stream with you guys here. No, it's not over yet. Currently bouncing. Ethereum at $1,373. Things are looking up, guys. I hope everyone has a great day, and we'll catch you tomorrow for the Wednesday Breaking Bitcoin edition. Final words to our analyst.
Trade safely, guys. Oh, alt's not Bitcoin. Alt's not Bitcoin.
Yeah, definitely exciting things happening in the market right now. Do not let the emotion get to you. Always risk appropriately when you're doing these things, of course. I mean, ETH looks super exciting. Don't feel like you've missed the boat. Don't feel like you have to just jump all in now. Just watch the show each day and we'll help you out, man. Like,
That's it.
I really want everyone to do well in this space. And if you jump in just hoping to make money, you're likely going to do the opposite. So
take profits, guys. Have a good one. Much love.
Yep.
See you tomorrow.
Trade safely. See you tomorrow, guys.